Like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put the check up in my hands. Still got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the rest. Had a few friends, but they suck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride till the hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen the rap on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in a big league.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. God bless you all. Hit that like button on your way in the building. YouTube hasn't been sending out the notifications, so please punch the like button. Let's go ahead and get it up to 100 so we can get started. We need to talk about Mike McDaniels, his conversation with Tua Tagovailoa, and what it all means. All the details about what he said in that phone call. It's good. It's a very interesting conversation because I saw some really good things in that conversation, but I also saw a few things that really disturbed me. So we'll talk through that. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, we'll talk through that, but hit that like button. Let's get it up to 100. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all of the members of the channel. Appreciate your love and support. I see you, the Triple S Podcast in the building. Hit me up, homie. It's time to work. Let me see here. I see everybody. Adrian Flemings, Clemente, Lucas, Bones, or Bones. I can always do that. And let me give a homie his mod. Let me see here. Kenneth, what's up? Sweet Jump. Richard Arroyo with the deleted comment. I see your comment, man. Try not to curse next time so we can show it. All right. George, what's up, man? Good day to you. Michael Simmons, you got your mod, homie. True Fins, what's up with you, man? Let me make sure you get modded as well. There go the homie Triple S Podcast in the building. Y'all hit that like button. We still ain't at 100. Punch that like button, all right? Mod TD, I already got you, D-Hug. I already hit you right whenever I saw you in here earlier. Raphael, I see you, man. Miami whiff on McDaniels. Lovey Smith should have been our head coach. Let's get behind the homie, man. Let's get behind McDaniels, man. I don't have none of that in me. lack of support from McDaniels. But we definitely got to talk about all of the factors that's going to be going into him being our next head coach. All right, Jose said Tua the GOAT. Just kidding. We're doomed. I think we need to have a shift in perspective, and I'm gonna be calling for that, and we'll talk about it. TD, you feel hopeful? I have mixed feelings. There's a piece of hope, and then there's a piece of grave disappointment, and that's what we're gonna talk about on this stream. That's what we're gonna talk about on this stream. 2-a-days, McDaniel's the best coach he played for, says. Did the season start already? He didn't say he's the best coach he ever played for. He said he wouldn't want to coach, play for any other coach than McDaniel's, which is crazy because you have never played for him to feel that way. But, a lot of window dressing. We'll talk about that too. Sorry, y'all. I got to down that coffee, man. Finish it up. Long night, man. Me and my wife were up all night. Got a sick little one. And man, we woke up this morning like, we need to make sure we get some rest. And I promise y'all, I'm actually just waking up about an hour ago. Brush my teeth, wash my face, and say, hey man, I see these videos and we watch them. I was talking to the homie G Firm for a little bit. Now I'm live, man. Salute to the homie G Firm, by the way. I see him up in here. That just means it was so bad playing for Flores that he welcomes the change. Maybe. I don't know to his true perspective. There's a lot of rumors, but maybe. All right, man. We're almost at that 100 likes. Let's get it so that we can go ahead and get started because I really want to talk about this one. All right. No mod needed. Need my Miami Dolphins to win. Let's go, TD. I hear you, man. I hear you. I don't have hope for next season. We need to change our mentality, Raphael. McDaniels hasn't said anything yet. TD is cap. Ryan, don't come in here with the negativity about me, bro. McDaniels, everybody's been watching the videos. Everybody's been watching the videos of his conversation with Tua. And it's very interesting. Stop it, TD. Where is your support? See, once again, we got those trolls in here asking me, where's my support? And aren't I the one that just sat here and said there's things that's, you could be optimistic about and some things I'm concerned about, and I have no lack of support from McDaniels. I just said that out my mouth, and some of y'all trying to go to the negative with me. Y'all work hard to paint this negative picture of TD sometimes when right in your face I'm saying the opposite of what you're trying to paint. But hey, man, we almost at 20K. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep doing our thing as the haters continue to try to defame me and what we do over here, especially going on other platforms, doing all that mess. It's all good, man. All you're doing is giving us more and more notoriety. I appreciate it, though. Good or a bad press is always good press. All right, TD, change your name. TDPHINSTALK. I don't know what that means. Stop saying McDaniels. There's no S on this guy's name. I keep telling y'all, I know that now because I kept screwing it up, but it still has to set in. If I keep putting the S on the end, it's all right, man. You got to get over it, man. I'm working on it, though. Trust me, I'm working on it. I'm working on it just as much as Tua's working on his game. So if I'm at a golf course sometimes, instead of, practicing to take the S off, it's just what comes with it. All right. We are 2-9. We are everywhere. Expect us. Salute the 2-9, man. I see him in here. Color, man. What's up, Color? Became a member of the channel. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you, Color. Welcome to the membership. Anybody who wants to join the membership, make sure you go to the homepage of TDPHINSTALK, hit that join button, select one of the 4 tiers, join the team. Appreciate you, love you. Also, to the mod squad, man, thank y'all for all you do, all the hard work, making sure that we have a good, healthy comment section. We appreciate that. Well, mods, make sure you understand if you see a comment, it could be a good one, but if it has profanity and different things like that in it, we don't let it come through. Okay. I know some mods were allowing certain comments to come through anyway, and that's where we got to stop it. All right. If Bengals can turn around in a year and go to Super Bowls, so can we with the right pieces. Well, what are those Bengals right pieces? I agree. We can turn around in a year or two with the right pieces, but what were the right pieces for the Bengals? You can't say Chase. We got a Waddle. You got to really go down. If you want to talk about the Bengals, what were the right pieces? I'm telling y'all, man, this is let me leave it alone. I'm trying to do better. I promise y'all, I am trying to do better. I've been tapping into my soul lately, saying, bring the utmost optimistic guy out of you, TD. Like you started this channel 2 years straight, 2.5 years straight with no failures in optimism. Like you were the most optimistic guy. You know, no matter what, undefeated every year, everything. Like you're optimistic. The last year and a half, a lot of reality set in, but I'm trying to bring some of that spirit of optimism back for myself because it's less painful when you live in that realm. But again, for your question, what are the right players that the Bengals have? That's what you got to ask yourself. Nah, TD, you just keeping it real. No, I'm gonna keep keeping it real. That ain't gonna ever stop. All right. All right, man. We got our likes up. Let's hit the like button. Keep hitting it, guys. Let's get to 150. But let's go ahead and get started, okay? As Ari hits us with a fresh donation. Ari said, optimism or no optimism, we are still riding with you. I salute to that, sir. That's big time comment right there. That is a big time comment right there. That's that validation comment. Make me feel good, man. Mike Ford, a blindside tackle, a running game, and another wide receiver. I'm with it. I like that. I like that. All right, man. Let's dive in. Let's talk. So all this stuff is circulating. The Mike McDaniel's on a plane, having a conversation with Tua Tagovailoa on said plane. And telling Tua how he feels, how excited he is, and what's to come. I'm about to play the clip of it, at least the audio portion of it for you all. And I'm going to get your thoughts, and then I'm going to break down what it all means to me because it left me optimistic and concerned for different reasons. And we'll break that down. Shake Money said, tell McDaniel he can't talk to Deshaun Watson like that. That's tampering. Oh, my gosh. It definitely wasn't Deshaun Watson. He was talking to Tua Tagovailoa, hands down. Picture evidence, okay? So we'll break that down, okay? All right. Let's dive in. Let me bring it up. Give me a second. Be Free with double donation with the same comment said 20 plus years with no elite QB and the cycle continues. Don't say that. Delete that comment. No, get it off the screen. Get it off the screen because that's the thing that hurts me. That's the thing that scares me. Get it off the screen, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna play the audio, man, because I don't want to get a copyright on the video, if that makes sense. And that's all we need pretty much is the audio. All right. Here we go, y'all.
There he is, man. I just had to get on with you real quick. We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man. One thing I know about you is you have the ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you. And it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be work, but I know you're not afraid of that. So this is an awesome day for me. And I'm damn sure going to make sure that when you look back on this day, you're going to be like, damn, that was one of the best days of my career too. Okay? But I'll earn that from you. You got me? No, since you can't hear him, there's a camera on us right now. Since you can't hear him, he's telling me how excited he is. And that there's no other coach he'd rather play for in the entire world, which I thought was nice since this is the first time I've really talked to him. I'm elated, bro. It is an unbelievable opportunity for me that I do not plan on wasting in the slightest. I promise you that. I'm all in. You're going to get the best out of me that you could possibly get. There's only one way to do anything great. So, and there's no shortcuts. But let's go do something that's worth doing. It's on, bro. If you don't have eye black at home, you better go get some eye black because we're going. It'll be outstanding, dude. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for myself. And I think the Dolphins fans should be happy as well.
There you have it. If you heard that interview just now, let me know in the comment section. Make sure you all heard it and you heard it clear, because we want to break down, talk about some of the points he made. Tua shaded D-ball. Tua didn't shade anybody. God, I already love McDaniels. Why post that? Billy said, why post that? We're gonna talk about this, okay? I see all these people asking for mod back, but okay, let's start, man. All right, and shout out to the newest member of the channel. We got another member just joined, Joshua Richardson, man. Salute to the homie Joshua Richardson, man. I wonder if this Joshua Richardson is any kin to me. I have on my dad's side a large part of my family are Richardson. So let me know. Hit me up an email. I want to see if we related in any way. But listen, man, all right. Hit that like button because we about to dive in. We got 400 people watching, but we only got 158 likes. Why is it so hard? Just hit the like button. Remove the chat. Hit the like. Bring it back. Just hit the like button one time, and you ain't got to worry about me begging for it anymore to you. Punch that like button. I should be able to say that, and we hop from 160 to 200 like that. Easy. 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 Punch that like button. Let's go, man. Somebody said, earn the like, punk. Listen, man, first of all, the like ain't for me, the switchy. So listen, you may not know much about this channel. We try not to be selfish. We're a family over here. The like button ain't for me. YouTube isn't sending any notifications out. So what happens is if everybody that's watching hits the like button, it says, oh, a lot of people are liking this stream. Let me send more notifications out. I beg, scratch, and cry to hit the like button for the subscribers who don't know we're live right now. They're just like, man, I wish somebody was live. Oh, TD live, let's go. Let me hear what they got to say. It's not for me. So it's not for me to earn. It's me sticking up for those who don't even know that we're live. You're going to get people that come in here in about 5 minutes. Bro, I didn't get a notification. I didn't know you were live. Oh, bro, how long have you been live? I just got the notification because you hit the like button. So again, for the person who said earn the like button, respect to you. I should earn a like button, but it's not for me. It's to make sure that everybody knows that we're live and people can come in and get the content that they want, because they hit me up in email all day. Bro, I don't know what's going on, but I never get the notifications. That's a YouTube thing, all right? Just FYI. All right, man. So let's break it down, okay? But it's funny how I say it and we do get over 200 likes just like that, and we're at 220 right now. See, people can do it. Let's do it. So Mike McDaniels is a guy that leaves you encouraged because his energy is fresh and raw. You can see that in his youth. His ambition and desire to build something great is there, and we love that. I love that. And it welcomes positivity and the desire to get behind him, which I am. I'm all behind Mike McDaniels. Don't know how to turn out, but he got my support. I got his back. There's optimism even with Tua Tagovailoa with him. He's all in on the development of Tua Tagovailoa. He's all in on helping Tua become great. He's also all in and getting Tua to put the work in. And he delivers the right message. And it sounds like he is going to do everything in his power to get Tua where he needs to be. And if you support Mike McDaniels, you got to get behind that, and you should be excited about that. Let's go. Thank you, Mike. Come on. Make this kid great. Because at the end of the day, whether you believe in Tua or not, I've always preached on this channel the most lucrative thing that the Miami Dolphins can do, the most profitable thing that the Miami Dolphins can do. The best case scenario for the Miami Dolphins would be Tua Tagovailoa becoming our franchise quarterback. Because if he can become our franchise quarterback, we don't have to live in a threat of getting rid of high draft assets. We still can operate, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, as a team that has enough resources to continue to put things around him. And you picked him. Who doesn't want a homegrown guy to be the guy? No matter whether you like Tua or not, there ain't no more profitable outcome than Tua turning the corner, being great, and being our franchise quarterback. That's just a fact. Now, I know we get into the conversation on whether he can or not. Of course, that's where the real debate comes. But forget that for a second. The most important thing is getting Tua to be the guy, because if we can accomplish that daunting task, and daunting, just an opinion of mine, we all win to the max. McDaniels seems like the guy who wants that to happen. McDaniels is the guy who does not have a preconceived notion that Tua isn't the guy, has already checked out on him and said, hey, man, we need to go get better. It's a fresh chance and a fresh opportunity for Tua, knowing he has support, knowing that his coach has his back, knowing that he's wanted again. An opportunity to build a relationship that may have been damaged and severed for the last 2 years. Maybe, right? As Big Drip ENT said, Chipmunk Uncle Ian, welcome, Coach. Yeah, welcome. That's what's up, man. So that's where McDaniels comes in, where he makes you feel good about the situation. The big concern, though, is heard it all before. Tell me this, tell me that. Your lies ain't worth it. And I ain't calling McDaniels a lie. McDaniel. I keep saying McDaniels, whatever. I ain't calling McDaniel a lie. But we've heard it all before. I feel like there is an intentional play in the last 3 days of advertising and promoting Mike McDaniel to us. It's been too intentional. I'd rather us just go through the process and let him earn our respect and prove it to us. But in the last 2 to 3 days, there's been too much intentional advertisement of why he's going to be great. I mean, they've gone so far as to say McDaniels, Tua was under a coach in Alabama that ran a system that Kyle Shanahan ran, and that Kyle Shanahan system is the same system that McDaniels is going to bring, and as a result of that, Tua is going to be successful because of that. Like it's been a constant connection of why he's going to be great. Nothing stands on its own as proof. It's just everybody telling you why he's going to be great, but a lot of it is far-fetched examples. Like, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows that he can be great because he heard it from another guy that knows a guy. That's all I'm hearing out here. Ari said they are trying to take heat off the Flow scandal, the good old bait and switch. We know that's a factor as well. Let's get them excited about their new coach to hurry up and forget about the old one and all this crap that's going on. We know that. We know that. But we still can't take away from the fact that Mike McDaniels could bring an energy and a level of play that can change the whole game. Regardless of the intentional extra advertisement of him being the guy, we still can't take away from the fact that it is possible. We can't. And I actually love McDaniels. I like what he brings to the table right now. His resume wasn't very impressive to me. His resume, see, it's always something when you're sitting under someone else's tree and being able to benefit from their fruits. And then when you get your own tree, you're waiting on it to produce fruit. It's always the case. And that's what I'm scared of. I personally felt like that conversation between him and Tua should have never been aired, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell y'all why. This is where I got frustrated and disappointed about that conversation. First of all, it made Mike McDaniels look like a pawn to me. It made me feel like he got the job because he was one of the few people that would all out commit on helping Tua grow. And it was all in his messaging there. I'm here and my job is to coach that greatness out of you. That phone call made me feel like he boxed himself in a corner. He went so hard on endorsing Tua Tagovailoa, which that was a full endorsement, ladies and gentlemen. That is a full endorsement. There ain't no other quarterback, starting quarterback at least, that'll be coming in this offseason. What I just heard was a full endorsement. You can go ahead and kiss all that other stuff goodbye. That was a 1,000% full endorsement. But I feel like what kind of coach who's never got his own eyes and his own coaching and his own practice experience watching a guy fully endorses him like that, like there is no, I'm tied to you, whether you succeed or fail. And it's so Dolphin, and it actually aggravated me, and here's why. I would have hoped that McDaniel stands on his own. I want to see Mike McDaniel stand on his own and be already show that face of a head coach that, hey, Tua, I'm glad that we could work together. We're going to get in, we're going to go to work, and we're going to see if we can get the best out of you. Neutral stuff. Not talk about this future and for years to come and all this and that. Because what happens when you get into camp, if he looks like trash and he looks like he can't implement your system and you get a firm evaluation that just ain't cutting, and not saying you will, but what happens if you do? You have already boxed yourself in tied to him. You have already locked in the fact that you are tied to him. And I don't think that's because you want to be tied to anybody. But at the same token, I feel like he got the job because that was the main condition. You got to be tied to Tua. That's just the reality. I have never seen a coach endorse a quarterback like that. I have always seen coaches talk in general about their quarterback. I mean, you can look at Bruce Arians with Tom Brady, for God's sakes. Never even gave that type of endorsement. Because it's not about saying that you'll be the guy no matter what, but you have to earn being the guy. There was no ownership in Tua earning being the guy. It was Coach McDaniel earning Tua's respect. Which it is reciprocal. It has to go both ways, but that was so one-sided, that whole conversation. And then Tua hits it with some window dressing. No other coach I'd rather play for in the whole entire world. You have no experience with them. So how can it be there's no other coach that I'd rather play with in the whole entire world? Window dressing. We all know that. You can read between that. You can easily read between that. Ball game said, not really. He can always go and get a new QB if Tua fails. He still has to see if there's more to Tua before they move on from him. If he's 95% healthy, I think Tua will be fine. Well, yeah, I mean, all the conversations ball game about I think he'll be fine. Well, I don't think he'll be fine. That's minute in this conversation, because it's all about when you get to camp and you're like, man, this kid is struggling. I'm working hard. It looks like I'm starting to have my evaluation of him. You're going to be locked for the whole year pretty much. That's what I'm hearing from him is what I'm saying. You've already tied your name to him. And how can you tie your name to somebody when you have zero experience developing quarterbacks anyway? When everybody and their mama, whether you like to or not, is really just pins and needles about who's going to be the OC and who's going to be the quarterback coach. That's what I'm really worried about. Who's going to be those guys? Who's going to be those guys? Mike McDaniels ain't got no experience with quarterbacks. Well, TD, everywhere he's been, quarterbacks have had their best years. It's just so funny that everybody feels like that's mainly attributed to him, but he's followed the same tree. We're automatically making assumptions and giving credit. Every little stat that we can throw credit on, well, he got to get some credit for that. Mike McDaniels has developed running games and wide receivers. That's it. We need an O-line coach, and we need a quarterback coach that can help support his vision. We need a O-line coach and a quarterback coach that can help support his vision. And I am so waiting to see who those guys are, because I feel like that's going to be the real difference makers. That's going to be the real difference makers. I don't care what he does with the running backs and the wide receivers if we can't fix that O-line. It doesn't matter what he does with the receivers if the quarterback doesn't get a little better to make sure they deliver it. And I love the comment that was given last night, because it made all the sense in the world. The positive thing about Mike McDaniels is that it doesn't look like we're going to build around Tua anymore. We're going to build around the run game. We might be looking to have more carries than passes in any given game. We're going to build around the run game. Let Tua or whoever's doing it be the complement to the run game instead of the run game being a complement to the quarterback. That gives me hope. That gives me hope. Hey, I know we had some donations. I don't want to skip those who let me go back and make sure I read those. Flip side said, red flag, number 1, remember this day. Ari said, wait, Tua is always praised for his ability to run the option. Maybe this will actually be good because he will draw up some crazy scheme options. See, this whole option notion, remember, there's an element in the league that makes the option deadly. That's the quarterback's ability to run the ball too. When you have that, regardless of how you draw up the option and different things like that, it doesn't get its full potential. It doesn't get its full potential. Somebody said run games don't produce championships. I would have to agree with that. But that seems like the path that we're electing to take. A path that can get you far, but can't get you a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, I am fully convinced now you need one of those guys that'll get you over the top when somebody take away that run game and eat your defense up. You need one of those guys that can win you a championship, win you a Super Bowl. I used to be a detractor of it. Now I am 100% in agreement, and I believe it now. You need one of those guys because you can keep winning games without them off the back of the run game and the defense. But when the rubber meets the road, your best case scenario is you coming up just short. Just short. Ballgame said Baltimore did it with that formula. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I mean, we had a quarterback on Baltimore that year that had his best year in the NFL. We had 0 turnovers in the playoffs, 0 interceptions, didn't turn the ball over, had some of his best games of his career. And that season was one of the best seasons of his career playing like a top quarterback. Flacco actually, that's what thing people don't talk about. Flacco actually balled out that year. I mean, just straight up ripped it up, tore it up. Nobody really talks about that. They just look at Flacco as being Flacco. You need a guy playing at that level, regardless. You need a guy playing at that level, no matter how you slice it. Shanahan and McVay both got rid of the QBs. They started with McDaniels. It will be no different. Well, you don't know. Turn it down. Y'all give me 1 second. You got to turn it down. My bad. But you don't know. I know Shanahan and McVay both got rid of the QBs, but I think this is different. This was a hire tied to Tua. To get this job, you had to come in and sell why Tua could still be the guy and get it done. You have to. Team still had to respect Lewis running the rock. Oh, you talking about the first one. Trent Dilfer was the QB when they won, by the way. Oh, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one Flacco was. And again, I'm talking last 15 years. This is a totally different NFL from the past. That's another thing a lot of people do. Well, this team did it 20 freaking years ago. Total different NFL. When salary cap wasn't really the biggest factor that determined stuff. When your best quarterback might have made $12 million and some of your worst ones was making $8 million, wasn't that much of a disparity. This is a whole different NFL, whole different league. Football is not even played the same way. The same rules aren't even in place. Same rules aren't even in place. I don't compare today's NFL with those Trent Dilfer examples. Totally different. That formula does not work in today's NFL. It only gets you but so far and you come up short. And even if you were to win it all, your quarterback has to play on a historic level. Has to play great. TD, I'm numb, bro. Burrow in the Super Bowl, Herbert, Pro Bowl, MVP. It's year 3, and we're still trying to unlock our 5th overall QB to be good enough. I mean, it's hard to make that comparison for the simple fact that Tua's played a year and a half of football. But some people could argue that with Burrow, too. He's only played a year and a half of football. He was out, at least 6-7 games last year because of his season-ending injury. So I get the comparison. But at this point, we got to stop comparing Tua and Burrow. It's not even close. Not even in his league. Even with trash around him, even when things ain't working, even when the team take away the run game and the pass and the receivers from Burrow, he still make plays and gets it done. We got to stop the comparison now. It's officially a wrap. No more comparing them. It's unfair. It's just like when people say, hey, how dare you compare Tua to a Tom Brady, an established veteran that's going to the Hall of Fame. At this point, you can say the same thing with Burrow. Stop the comparison. Because at the end of the day, no matter how good Tua gets from this point forward, he'll never have the physical attributes. He will never have the physical attributes. So it is what it is. Because even when guys like Burrow and them are struggling, at least they have the physical attributes to still make plays and give themselves a chance. Tua will never have that. He'll bust off an 8 to 12-yard run on occasions. You know, he'll give you 2 every 4 games. And, hey, we can get overly excited about that, you know. But, no, I mean, it is what it is. We need Tua to become a good pocket passer and try to be methodical and surgical behind that line of scrimmage. But that's about all. And we've seen some quarterbacks have some success out of that in the past. We've seen it. So that's the next step for him, hoping he can get there. But all these people that keep saying, well, you never know, in year 3 he might get those Alabama hips back. That's a wrap. It's shot, y'all. Stop. He is who he is. Because then we'll be talking about in year 4 he might get the Alabama hips back. It's 2.5 years removed from that situation almost. And it is what it is. His new hips are his new hips. He is who he is. His mobility, his strength from his core, all of that is what it is at this point. This man is saying he's been fully healthy for 1.5 years now from them hips, and everybody walking around here, yeah, it's still the hips. It's still the hips. You know, he's still recovering from it. He don't even think he's recovering from it anymore. But we keep throwing that out there. It is what it is. Forget all of that. You know, maybe he'll turn the corner and get his body back to the way it used to be. He is what he is. Now we have to figure out how we could tap into what he is. Period. How can we get the best version of Tua Tagovailoa as is? I don't know why y'all keep typing Alabama hips. Did I say something wrong? I mean, it's the hips he had in Alabama. You know how y'all know what I meant, man. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all know what I meant. I wasn't trying to rag on him a joke. I was just saying, you know, how he looked when he was at Alabama, how his hips were helping him, follow through with his throws, you know, be able to get everything he got up under it. Now it looks like he's throwing more upper body now, using his upper body strength to throw the ball. Hips don't lie, bro. I mean, you're right, though. Y'all stop writing these negative comments that are, hey, don't show that, man. David, whatever mod showed that, stop that mess, man. Y'all ain't got to trash that, man. Listen. This should be Tua's best year. This should be Tua's best year. What does that look like? I don't know yet because this is going to be a new system for him. I'm really like disappointed right now because I feel like, number one, you've already built in so many bad habits, as Ball Game is alluding to right now. You've already built in so many bad habits with Tua that the first thing you got to do is reverse engineer those. Number two, I think we all, if we want to be fair, Tua has a track record of being a slower learner. And that's not a knock. If we look at the current history, he has a reputation right now of being a slower learner. I think we've determined that he's kinesthetic. He's admitted that himself based off of his description of how he learns. And he's not the type of guy that learns from watching film or looking at a playbook. He needs to go out and do it over and over and over again, repetition. Part of the problem with that is he's more of a scripted guy. It causes him to become a predetermining guy, a pre-read guy where he knows where he wants to go pre-snap. And if defenses jump out of what they're showing at first into something else, it's full panic mode in some of his worst performance. There's a lot of things he has to unlearn. But there's a lot of things that he never learned that people kept lying about, and I kept calling it out, and they were calling me a hater and saying, I don't know football, you don't know how to evaluate, all the way back in college. What people need to understand, Tua showed some of these traits all the way back in college. even when he had the Alabama hips. First reads, predetermining where he was going to go with the ball, and even if it wasn't open, he would go there. Lucky for him, the guys were wide open in Alabama. Can't process 3 levels of the field. The biggest mistake and the biggest thing that people got wrong about Tua Tagovailoa is becoming a victim of how great his circumstance was in college. I'll give y'all an example. I can't throw the ball past 45 yards. I know that. I've been on the field, and maybe it might be 35 now. I know about 5 years ago, maybe, I throw the ball just right around 45 yards. Okay? Most NFL quarterback, and now it's probably 35. I probably my arm strength is probably dead. Okay? But let's just take my 35-yard arm strength. Trash, right? If I'm at Alabama and I hike the ball and I want to go to Waddle on the left side up the seam, and I'm in a cover 2 where they're in a zone concept, all I got to do when I hike the ball is throw the ball on a go route and just hope the safety doesn't close quick enough, because Waddle's going to run behind that corner because they're in a zone. Whatever, right? I send somebody in motion. I notice they're in a zone. And so what am I going to do pre-snap? The only thing I got to worry about is that safety coming over, picking the ball off. This was Tua in college. Hike, looks to the right. He drawing the safeties over. That's why I loved his mechanics coming out of college. He draws the safeties over. After about 2 seconds, he barely even looked to the left, and he already letting it go. Bam, left. Touchdown. Wide open wide receiver. There was a lot of that in college. Any competent quarterback can do that. They still got to draw the safety to guarantee that. But there was a lot of that. All right, my guy going up a seam right up the middle. Hike the ball. Looking left. Drawing him over. Looking right. Drawing him over. Straight down the middle. There was too much of that I saw in college. But this is what it turned into. It was a catch. It was a touchdown. He's great. Look at his accuracy. Excuse me, because he completes so much. Excuse me. He completes so much. Even if that receiver's running down the sideline wide open and the ball is on the way and they got to slow down and wait and they catch it, and since they got so much separation, now they run for the touchdown. He's accurate. This is what I mean. I went back and watched the film. I didn't even know nothing about Tua Tagovailoa because I was not a college guy. I didn't evaluate college players. I only started evaluating them because Ball Game Reason and all of those guys, they knew their stuff when it came to college football players. And I had panels back in the day, and I used to be like, okay, I got to get on my college game so I can understand the best options for Miami. I started studying these people they were talking about. I was studying Tua's game. And what I found is, I'm tired of looking at Tua's game against all these scrubs. Everybody's wide freaking open, man. This is easy work. This is easy work. Same thing with freaking Joe Burrow. Look at me evaluating this guy. It's too easy, man. Everybody wide open. So what did I do? I said, cut the crap. Let me go look at only their games when they played a ranked opponent. At least the competition should be a little bit more fierce. Some of his worst games in college was against the ranked teams. In the biggest games, some of his worst games in college, those windows weren't as clean. The ball still got thrown even though it's cover 2, and they were smothering the offensive receiver. Like, why would you throw that? Because you relied on your mechanics and just let it fly. And then when you have players of the national championship team come on the stage and say, yeah, we knew how to beat Tua, don't trust his eyes, because he's probably going opposite of that. And then when he's cocking back to throw that ball, it doesn't matter if it's open, he's going to throw it anyway. You had people on the national championship team that beat him, defenders coming out saying that out of their own mouth. And I'm like, dang, that's messed up, because they're right. That's what I'm getting out of his play. And then you get to the NFL, And you got players saying it, but since we won the game, people are like, oh, he just mad he got mossed. Mossed on 50-50s where it wouldn't open. The receiver actually made the play. Think about that, y'all. This is what we were dealing with. So when I talk about he has to unlearn bad behaviors, we still can't forget the flaws he came in this league with. That he didn't pick up bad behaviors. He still has to correct those flaws. And they show up when we're in a pro style set. It shows up in the pro style set. So now Mike McDaniels is going to be tasked to create an offense to figure that out. And like PFT was talking about, here goes more 3-yard passes. I got to be honest with y'all. I think y'all all know we about to go right back into dinking and dunking, just trying to get a little more creative. But now we're going to do a lot more screens. Y'all remember how many screens we ran with Adam Gase? He was the bubble screen king. And we didn't run as many screens with Flores, but it was still a short game. The little tight end bootlegs and the slip outs and all of that little stuff, getting all that yards after the catch. You know how many first downs we got from a tight end catching the ball for 1 yard, nobody around, and he ran up for 10 yards? That's what we are. And now we're hoping, hey, but again, we're trying to open up the deep ball, take shots on occasions. And a lot of these reports are coming out that Mike McDaniels, and that he was basically saying, you have to build a great run game because you have to earn that single high look. A lot of teams played the Dolphins too high, and Flores and them, and let me tell you, this is more indication. A lot of teams played, he's right, the Dolphins, a lot of teams did play the Dolphins too high safety. And you barely throw the ball deep on too high safety. Even though Tua did in college, he threw it, slung it, was balling out in college, but again, those receivers are wide open. But in the NFL, you don't really throw much in too high because these safeties are better and they'll close on it and pick you off. And Mike McDaniels was basically saying, we have to earn the single high look. We have to run that ball, stretch it out, and make them bring another guy in the box. And I was telling people recently, I said, while you're earning it, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they're out here getting 7 points in the too high look. Run the ball, Miami. Yeah, it didn't work on that drive. We got a little bit down the field, but we're punting. And then Josh Allen, touchdown. All right, run the ball, Miami. Let's earn this single high look. By the time the third quarter come around and you done earned the single high look, the score is freaking 28-10. Because what happens when they like I keep telling y'all, same thing with San Francisco, same thing with Tennessee. What happens when they take away your run game and you run into an offense that can basically still put up points on your great defense? What do you go to then? What do you go to at that point? The only thing you can go to, throwing the football. And that's what McDaniels is being tasked to do, keep us out of situations where we have to rely on throwing the football. Until we can greatly improve in that area. Joey said, do you find it sus that Ross and Greer put statements out in no press conference? Well, I don't find it sus. They can't be in no press conference right now. They may not even let McDaniels do a press conference. Things got to die down. Things got to cool down. It's other things that these media members will ask about. Right now, the Dolphins are in statement mode. There's some huge allegations wagered against you. You don't want to, be all out in the media. You want to let things keep dying down, keep giving the media and PR push. McDaniels, let's bring a new energy. Let's forget about all that other crap. Let's move forward. And honestly, it's what's necessary. It's what's necessary. They need to do that. And I actually commend them on that. They're doing it the right way. We got to change the narrative. We got to keep the fans engaged. We got to push this thing forward. We can't live in that realm. I want them to live in that realm because the NFL, not per se just the Miami Dolphins, the Giants, or the Broncos, but the NFL needs to make change in areas that have been brought to light. but the organization doing what they got to do to make sure that they can move past that situation. So I get all of that. R. Baker said Tua has shown that he's not effective when teams play man to man. And again, let me tell you one thing that we will run a lot of. And I used to preach this last year, not this year, because I knew we weren't going to do it. But last year I used to preach this. What you need to do with Tua in man-to-man coverage, you have to run a lot of crossing routes on different levels. That guy going 4 yards shallow, that one going about 12 yards shallow, a streak up the middle. You know, you need to run a lot of crossing things where some of the receivers can have that slight separation. We need to run a lot more crossing routes and things of that nature whenever we get a man concept. But again, Tua got to learn this complex playbook. He got to learn all of that stuff. And there's another stat that came out that I totally disagree with because numbers are skewed, okay? They're saying that the Miami Dolphins' efficiency in play action was number 1 in the NFL, y'all. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I saw. See, we do need to run a play action scheme. First of all, we were probably the team that ran play action the least. It's called sample size, ladies and gentlemen. People falling in love with these stats. Oh, look, see, man, if we're in the power O and we do play action with Tua, I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like it would be disastrous. Play action. Yeah, even if you can run the ball. Because I feel like teams even caught up with Tannehill on that. Because that's what they do in Tennessee. They send that back end edge rusher. Forget if you hand it off. I don't care. I'm coming at the quarterback anyway. That would be disastrous for Tua. And let me tell you why those stats are crap. That the Miami Dolphins had the best efficiency in the NFL on play action. They don't tell you how much play action we ran. They just tell you our efficiency and production for Tua out of it had the highest rate in the NFL. Rate. So let me give you an example. If we ran one play of play action all year and it was a completed pass, he'll have the highest rate. He'll have the highest rate. And another thing with play action, guess who we really ran the most play action with? Jacoby Brissett. In those games with Jacoby, because we got out of the RPO with Jacoby, don't forget that. We didn't run the RPO with Jacoby. Jacoby was under center a lot. We did a lot of play action with Jacoby. That's why that number was so high. Jacoby Brissett was the play action guy. We rarely ran play action with Tua Tagovailoa. He's the reason why our play action numbers were very high. It was Jacoby. And with Tua, we were in the pistol, the RPO. And people need to go look at the raw data and you'll see that. TD, look at DDW comment. Is he in here? Oh, D-Dub in here. Where he at? Oh, hey, bud. I actually talked about this on my video today. They ran the play action the most in the NFL, 35.4 of the time, which is surprising. It is surprising, right, Doug? But the reason why it's a surprise is because you're like, it didn't seem like it because you forgot about how much we ran it with Jacoby. All we're thinking about is Tua. That's why it's surprising. Because you're like, I don't remember Tua running that much because he didn't. It was Jacoby. Jacoby was the play action guy. And we ran it so little with Tua that every time we did run it, it was a successful play because teams never expected us to pass out of it with Tua. It was the ultimate sell. But again, this is why I go look at raw data when I'm looking at data. They throw out these numbers to give you one picture, but when you look at the raw data, you see the real reality was it. It was Jacoby Brissett that ran most of the play action. Jacoby played 5 games, even if he did do it a lot. No way he could have made it that high. That's not true. That's about all we did with Jacoby. Y'all not realizing we were under center a lot with Jacoby? That's all we did with Jacoby. And then to add to it, we threw the ball a lot in the fourth quarter with Jacoby because we were always down. But it was all out of an under center format. I mean, y'all know y'all eyes don't fail y'all. How much did you see Tua under center? How much do you see Tua under center? Come on, man. TD, do you really hate Tua? No, not at all. That's just the people that don't like what they're hearing want to label me as, because it's not always the most favorable narrative. That's what people do in today's world. If they hear something that they don't like, even if it may be true, it's called hate now. So people like me not bothered by that term as a hater or nothing like that, because it's really validation. That's crazy to me. You run play action when you have a weak QB arm. Tua is a gadget QB. Miami love to Seattle. I do really hate Tua. Y'all, it's crazy. But you sound like it. I mean, the truth can sound like it. If you really love somebody and I'm telling you why it may not be what you think, you're going to think it sound like I hate him because you're just so obsessed with loving him. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's like me saying, oh, Tua's not good at this. And you're like, yeah, he is, TD. You're a hater. And I say, well, you hate me. I don't hate you, TD. Well, you sound like it. Because you disagree with what I say. It's the same thing. Same thing. TD, make me blue again. I got you, Batman. Glad you caught up, Raphael. Don't forget, Joe Burrow did pre-snap reads and call protections too. Tua is the greatest Dolphin QB in NFL history. All right. If we can't get Watson, we need to trade into the top 10 and get that WW. Listen, that Watson train has officially sailed, in my opinion. Mike McDaniel's phone call with Tua basically should tell you that it is officially sailed. They are going for broke on Tua. They are going to try to make Tua work. I just hope Watson doesn't end up in the AFC. I hope Aaron Rodgers doesn't end up in the AFC, and I hope Russell Wilson doesn't end up in the AFC. Because, like I said before, what team are we going to replace in the playoffs? That's the interesting question. What team will we replace in the playoffs? And especially if those guys end up in the AFC. Which one? And that's what I want to know. I just have my personal opinion when it comes to this football thing, man. I feel like I made the point last night, there's several ways you could build a team. There are several ways that you could build a team. Several ways that you could build a team. We're trying to build it a way that hasn't been proven to work in the last 15 years. Because the quarterbacks are so great that you're not going to get through 2 or 3 of them in the playoffs. You're not going to get through 2 or 3 of them in the playoffs. And my biggest concern with Tua Tagovailoa in this type of format where we're run first is running on first and second down. In those 3rd and 3s and those 3rd and 4s, that one mistake, punt the ball. You have to be perfect on those limited times they give you. I feel like Tua is a rhythm quarterback. You give him 3 opportunities to throw the ball, he will get a first down. You're not going to stop him from getting the first. You give him 3 chances to throw the ball, we will get a first down. But you give him 1 chance to pick up 3 yards, anything can happen and could cause us to punt. I had the same theory with Josh Allen. He's a rhythm quarterback. You need to keep the ball in his hands because you got a greater chance of getting the first down with the ball in his hands 3 times than run, and then giving him one shot to pick up the first. We've seen a lot of stagnant offenses like that. And the only way to offset offenses like that is your run game got to be picking up the first downs. 1st and 10, 7 yards. 2nd and 10, 2nd and 3, 4 yards. Okay, first down. Throw a play action in there. Maybe it worked, maybe it don't. And if it don't, 2nd and 10. Run the ball, get to 7. Now we got to, you see what I mean? It's a tight game. I want you to really look at the San Francisco 49ers even in that NFC Championship game. All those 2 and 3 yard passes. Even the touchdown with Deebo Samuels was a -1 yard pass. That no, it wasn't -1 yard. That one actually was caught at the line of scrimmage. That went for 60 yards for the touchdown. The offense couldn't generate anything in that game. But you keep on running the short stuff, and one of them, you're just hoping one of them will break. It's not sustainable when you run up against a quarterback or a team that can put up points. It's just not. This is why teams like that, sometimes they winning games and gritting and grind and winning games, and then they get blown out. Win games, grit and grind, and then they get blown out. And you have to execute your game plan perfectly in the playoffs to even have a chance to lose in an AFC Championship game or in a Super Bowl. Just to have a chance to lose. And that's what it comes down to, man. That's exactly what it comes to. Me one too, okay? My bad, y'all. All this love for Burrow going bye-bye Sunday when the Rams D beats him up. Yeah, I don't think the love will go away, TK. I don't love Burrow. I'm mad that he won that round. I was hopeful he lost because I don't want to see them be leaps and bounds better than the Miami Dolphins. And unfortunately, right now, the Cincinnati Bengals are leaps and bounds better than the Miami Dolphins. How can you be that far ahead of us and have just as much money in draft capital in the draft as us? They could get just we want to go get Armstead, who say they won't go get him. We want to go get Brown, who say they ain't going to get him. They're able to do what they are doing with a terrible right side of the O-line. The center bad, the right guard bad, and the right tackle is horrible. What you think they going to do in free agency? Come on, TD. 2 + 2, Ben 4. Don't you think Miami wide receiver tired of the mediocre QB? Tua's a 5 to 8 game winner, and those wins are at the helm of defense. You're not winning a Super Bowl with Tua. Well, we got to get out of the perception that you need him to win games. But Super Bowl, yeah, you're going to need a high level of play from him, which I don't think he has in him. And no, the wide receivers are not tired of mediocre QB play. Why? Because you got guys on this wide receiver squad that's just happy to be here. Waddle's on a rookie deal. His circumstance ain't going to change, so it don't matter to him. It ain't going to matter to him for another 2 years. He's just going to keep on doing his thing. Devontae Parker, injury prone, up and down. He got his payday. He don't have many big paydays left in front of him, so he take what he get. Lynn Bowden, up and coming. Mac Hollins, happy to be here. They're not going to complain because it's not like they're the cream of the crop in the NFL. When you don't have cream of the crop in the NFL, you don't get people that's complaining about the quarterback that's throwing them the ball. Mike Gesicki, you see his little bit of disgruntledness, and he keep on fooling y'all, making y'all think that he all supportive and stuff on social media. Y'all don't see the big contradiction with Mike Gesicki? Look how he acts on the field versus social media. He trying to get a payday. It's all a lie. He know he don't like what's happening on the field, but you know what? I'm up for a contract now. I gotta be on my best behavior. I love everything you're doing. It's the reality. They saying you hating, TD. I appreciate it. Hit the like button with it. I mean, I've been getting that forever. There ain't nothing new. I'm used to that. Time always tells, right? Time always tells. It is what it is. We got to look at what we see in front of us. What are our eyes telling us? Another thing, you could bring everything you can around Tua. It ain't making him better, it's making the circumstance better. Numbers should be going up across the board, but it don't make him a better player. It may give him more opportunity to put more numbers up. Instead of the O-line looking like trash 10 times in a game, it may be 7. Those 3 other times might get him another 30 yards a game. That's still the same player. But you're still not seeing those godly quarterback throws. You're still not seeing those type of throws. You're still not seeing rope throws 30 yards down the field and ain't got to go higher than 15 feet in the air. Just those ropes. You're still not seeing those things. Everything with Tua got to hang to get the most he can out of it. Y'all do understand that when you talk about throws. That's why that defensive player came out and said Tua can't make all the throws. Being able to make all the throws ain't just distance. It might be a play where a guy is 40 yards down the field and he puts everything he got up into it, but it has to go too high, which means it takes a little longer to get there. But that same throw on a rope, 40-yard bullet that don't leave the ground more than 12 yards, just woof across the field, may get there a whole second earlier, and that second makes a difference. That's what they mean by make every throws. That's why when you see, Tua just made a 40-yarder, that's not an example of every throw. He put that up in the air, and it had to hang to get as much as he could in the furthest distance he could on it. And the defender caught up. There's different levels to this, man. Because when you can make all the throws, you have the arm strength. You have the cannon, the accuracy with it. That's the type of stuff that matters. That's the difference. That's when you look at a quarterback and be like, man, I could turn this into something. You know who's somebody who really isn't accurate at all? You know who really isn't accurate? And I'm starting to see that now. Mac Jones ain't accurate. He's just a guy that puts it in the vicinity where it could still be caught. Because Mac Jones had a good completion percentage this year too. Don't forget that. Mac Jones is not an accurate quarterback. His ball placement is most of the time is horrific, but he puts it in the vicinity so it still gets caught. But we call that accurate because the completion percentage is still high. It's not accuracy. Ball placement is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Ball placement is the true accuracy. Completion percentage never had anything to do with accuracy. Completion percentage only mean that ball was in an area where it still could be caught, and sometimes receivers make heck of plays. You don't even think it's catchable, but a receiver comes down with it. Mac ain't accurate. So when you take all these limitations, you got to build a system in an offense around that to still find success. And that's what we already tried to do. And what y'all need to understand is we actually found success in that system that Flores and them employed with the 2 OCs. They only let Tua do what he could do well. And whether y'all want to agree or not, that was success for Tua. They created an offense that really, really worked for him. The only problem with that offense is when you run into a team that takes all that away, he can't adjust it to a different style of play to make them pay for it. Those few defenses that'll get you for it. So now we pretty much gonna go back to what I like to think is a dink and dunk format, getting a lot of yak once again, but just out of a different system that will be led by trying to run the ball. And another thing, 49ers love to run the ball on the outside, and that's what he's going to employ. He also talked about Tua will be doing a whole lot more pitching. Now he has to learn the pitch game. Tua ain't got that much experience pitching the ball, just so y'all know. Y'all know what I mean by pitching. Under center, hike the ball, tosses. Pitching that ball. Now he has to become a pro in those pitches, making sure those are on point. McDaniels feels like in his system that is an advantage, and it gives you an advantage with your run lanes. Now he can't pitch. Now that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you do that much pitching, sometimes we'll be faking out of those pitches, and it'll be really readable by the defense, in my opinion, with Tua. I'm telling y'all, teams already have the blueprint on Tua now. It's 2 years, and they know what he struggles in. A lot of teams going forward will deploy more of a man concept and sending pressure, and the pressure is of no consequence. Let me tell you why. When you deploy a man concept and you're sending pressure, a lot of that pressure is alleviating the run gaps anyway. So it's a twofold. We're sending pressure, and it may help us with the run stopping. Appreciate you, Hermes. We always get some love through all the hate. TD best in business. Appreciate that. But we'll see. I'm hopeful that Mike McDaniels can give us an offense and show us something that's very impressive. We moving that rock. But let's be honest, y'all. It doesn't matter what we do against all these teams in the league. We can go out there putting up 40 points a game. All y'all know the truth. There's only 2 games in the year that's going to determine if we even have a shot. 2 games in the year that's going to determine if we really have a shot. I don't care what success we have with other teams. There are 2 games in the year that's going to matter the most. And y'all know what those games are. You put it in the comment section. Anybody that got any football common sense, put the 2 games in the comment section. There is only 2 games that's going to matter. Only 2 games that's going to matter. And it's only one team, and we got to play them twice. And those 2 games is all that matters. It's the only game that matters. Because if you ain't building something to beat them, what are we doing it for? Thank y'all. Buffalo Bills. If you ain't building something to beat them, then what we doing it for? We ran the ball well on them. But the final score was 38-24. We ran the ball well. People always did this, we just need to tighten up our defense to stop. And listen, it's been proven they're going to put up points. You got to put up points. They're going to put up points, so you got to put up points. Not only are they going to put up points, but they're going to put them up fast. Well, you got to control the time of possession. Then go ahead, take your 7 minutes down the field, and they'll take 2. And they score. Y'all know that. That's how you eliminate that time of possession game. How did we lose and we had the ball for 40 minutes and they had it for 20 minutes? We done seen that before. We done control time of possession against them and still lost. Well, you got to run the ball and control the clock. They're going to put up points and they're going to put them up fast. At the end of the day, we need to stop with this crap. You got to keep up with them offensively. Not no defensive battle game going back and forth, stopping them. And the only hope you got in that is hoping that maybe game 2 is in Buffalo at the end of the year and the weather is horrible and it keeps the points down. You got to put up points. That's what it's going to come down to, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you agree with that or not, man, we're going to continue to be proving that that's going to be it. Yes, punch that like button. We're almost at 400 likes. We have 493 people in here. Shout out to our Facebook family watching, our Twitch family, our Twitter family. Appreciate y'all watching right now. YouTube, we got 465 people. We got another 30 people on other platforms. Y'all hit that like button. If you're on another platform, come over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 20K subs, y'all. We're almost at 20K subs. I think we got like 140 left, maybe. It's crazy, man. January was shockingly, that's usually starting the down month when we don't make the playoffs. I've been looking at the past Januaries. We'd add about 2, maybe 3 at best, 100 people. January, we added 497 people or something like that. So salute to all the new people who joined the channel and subscribed. Salute to all the new viewers, all right? Over 490 new viewers in January alone. In this month alone, we're already at 125 last I saw. So we're on pace for 500 new viewers this month. We'll see if we get there because I know the down season is coming up. But salute to all y'all. Like I said, man, it's beautiful things. We keep doing bigger and better things while the haters keep hating. Tell them we appreciate them, though. Can you agree, TD? Agree to what? Let me see if I can go back and see your comment. How funny. This should be Tua's best season for the Dolphins if he doesn't show us that he is gone. See, here's the deal. This is what I'm trying to warn y'all of. When we get closer to the season and I tell y'all what Tua needs to be to show to be successful, every year, first year and second year, I have given him goals that were very low. He didn't achieve them, but he wasn't that far off from them. But they were very low. This year, they're going to be very high. Because, again, you're supposed to have better stats when you have more support around you. This is why I tell y'all about this scale. This is why I kept telling y'all that this is how I look at it. We need Tua at a minimum. We needed him at least at a minimum to be above average without everything around him. What you need is your quarterback to be above average without everything around him. Because when you put everything around him, he can go up 2 levels and he can at least be really good. But we're about to put everything around him. And right now he's average. So in theory, he's supposed to look good when everything's around him. 2 levels. When everything is around you, you go up 2 levels. Good. But what we really needed was him to be above average without everything around him. Because I believe the quarterbacks that can win a Super Bowl are the elite ones, the great ones, or the really good ones when they have everything around them. They could win a Super Bowl. It's possible. It's harder to win a Super Bowl when you're really good. But you can. It's what I believe. And I got to update this because I'm sorry. Joe Burrow just hit a realm of really good with his base level without everything around him, which means his upside with everything around him could put him in elite status. So I will be updating this. Jimmy G, he is what he is. He's good. That is 2 levels up. Jimmy G's good. If you're in black, you already got your 2-level bump. If you're in black, you already have your 2-level jump. Jimmy G's good because he's an average quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is good because he's just an average quarterback if you ain't got things around him. Jared Goff, good because he's an average quarterback when you ain't got nothing around him. Teddy Bridgewater, good because he's an average quarterback when you ain't got nothing around him. I mean, yeah, average. Cam Newton, his overall career, good. And that's with everything around him. He's good. And I talk about overall career. Not just his first 4 or 5 years, because a lot of y'all love doing that. Y'all love saying, that's just like Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes have already showed he's on a level of great, right? With everything around him, he's great. I know y'all say elite. Now, Patrick Mahomes for the next 8 years can play on the level of freaking Tannehill, and y'all will still want to call him elite. Y'all will still want to call him elite. I'll take Tua over Goff, Garoppolo, and Bridgewater. That's fair because they all in the same category. So you could take any one of them over any one of them. They all in the same category. Remember, if you're in green with everything around you, you go up 2 levels. So Tua, with everything around him, is right there with Garoppolo, Goff, and all of them. If you're in black, you already got credit for 2 levels. Because if you're in black, you already played 4 years in this league. So we already have a baseline on you. If you're in green, you played less than 4 years in this league. So you still have upside. Some people don't understand that. If you listen to what I just said, you'll understand this spreadsheet. Some of y'all like, well, why is this person with that person? Understand the difference between the green and the black. Okay, those who are in black already played more than 4 years, and they already have the best that they can be with everything around them. That's where they are in black. The guys in green, that is not the end of their story. They have an upside of 2 levels, but since they're in green, their base level can rise before you even give them the 2-level bump. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say Tua balls out this year. I mean, goes crazy. He may go up to above average just from an overall base level, which gives him an opportunity to be really good if you put everything around him. In the first 4 years, we got to determine what they're going to be whenever we switch them to black. Rhonda said, Chris, TD is happy because he can put through 2 narratives for bank. Some of y'all just so funny with it. They keep accusing me of just making bank off of Tua, but they are over here watching, by the way, right? Oh my gosh. You're only hating on Tua because it makes bank. I lose subscribers and money. Telling the truth about Tua. Trust me on that. G Firm said Tua was the PFF 17th ranked QB. What would he be with everything around him? See, that's a good question. 15th, maybe? G Firm? 15th? Because PFF's ranking doesn't go off of your record. With everything around Tua, the run game would improve, and you'll get a slight improvement on the QB game because he's got a little bit more opportunities to make some more plays. But he's still the same QB. This is what I've been telling people. Well, if you gave Tua protection in the run game, that's hard for me to justify because Tua has some of his worst games when we've had our best protection and best run games. Let's talk about it, y'all. The games where our run game finally showed up and the protection finally showed up were some of his worst games. Let's be honest. Think about that. I wish the correlation was clear, But some of Tua's worst games was when we finally ran the ball and we actually leaned on it. And the O-line was giving protection. You were like, wow, were some of his worst games. That's why people actually got mad when we went through that 3-game stretch. I'll never forget that 3-game stretch. Let's see if y'all know those 3 games I'm talking about this year. It was a 3-game stretch that was very revelatory for Tua. We went 2-1 in those games. We won 2 of them and we lost the 3rd one. Which 3 games were those where the offense actually ran the ball decently and the O-line played its best football and it was his worst games? That's when people actually got mad at Tua. Thank you, Triple S Podcast. The Jets, the Titans, and the Saints. But the order was Jets, Saints, Titans. The order was Jets, Saints, Titans. Go back and look at those games. We finally ran the ball. We finally protected him. And they were his worst games. They were his worst games. So I'm not saying that putting more around him wouldn't help him. But all we have is the sample size that we have. It's a 4-game stretch. No, I'm not sure about that. I thought it was a 3-game stretch. Well, you're right. The Patriots game too. We ran the ball well. They protected him, and he didn't play well. But he also didn't play as bad as the other 3 in the Patriots game. I don't just look at the stats for the Patriots game because he played fair enough. I don't look at him as playing bad in the Patriots game. So I'm not going to add the Patriots game. I know he only threw the ball for like 109 yards or something like that, but I'm not counting the Patriots game. Let's leave that alone. We ran the ball well enough to not even worry about him being the guy. A lot of people dog him in that Patriots game, but I don't, whatever. Last game of the season, we're not going to the playoffs anyway. The whole team, I don't know what's going through their mind. I'm not even going to put that Patriots game on him. The Pats almost came back. It don't matter. Let's cut the guy some slack. We're just talking about the 3 games that cause people to be like, this is an example of actually giving him a run game and a line that protects him, and he actually looks worse. But I have to play devil's advocate. They ran a lot of pro-style offense in those games too. And I've been telling y'all, this man is not good in a pro-style offense. And what y'all got to understand is the West Coast offense, Power O, is closer to a pro-style offense than an RPO. The pistol and the shotgun, it's closer. Matter of fact, in a lot of cases when you're running that style of play, that play action, here's what I'm worried about with Tua. When we ran the few times we ran play action with him, he already knew where he wanted to go with the ball. When he fakes that handoff and he turns around, he knows that, okay, I got this level. If that ain't there, that one should be there. And he makes a few plays, right? But doing that in a regular situation, first of all, you're already losing a second. That's why, see, people forget so fast. His rookie year, they actually tried to do a lot of play action. But you forget that the problem with Miami, even with our O-line, you run play action with Tua, you already lost 1 second. If it's going to be a pass, you already lost 1 second. Because now you got to do the drop back, and you got to turn your back to the defense and fake the handoff. Then you got to turn back around. You already lost a second. But that's why in play action situations, you're doing a lot of max protection schemes. You're not doing play action with a 5-man offensive line. You got another tight end or 2 that's blocking. But that's also limiting how many routes that are being run. It's eliminating how many routes that are going to be run. And that's why in that type of concept, you need a guy going deep to stretch it out so that you get a lot more guys in the intermediate range that might be open. You need a deep threat that's stretching it out. You need a guy going across the field that's going to be determined. Are the linebackers shallow to hit them, or did the safeties follow the deep, or did they come under? You got to give them all these options. But teams aren't going to really fear that deep ball as much. And that's where Tua's going to have to be able to stick it to him, throwing it down the field like Russell Wilson, 50 yards. And it being right in stride on the money. It can't be waiting on it because the safety will catch up. It reminds me of, y'all remember that play where, who was it? Jakeem Grant versus the Chiefs. And I think it was the Badger. He picked it off in double coverage. It reminds me of plays like that. G Firm said first, wouldn't top 15 make him really good? Secondly, he jumped from 32nd to 17th in his PFF ranking from last year. He's trending up. See, G Firm, everything ain't created equal. Everything's not created equal, G Firm. Let me give you an example. A lot of those quarterbacks that are down there in the 20s, they're playing a pro-style offense. And they're just as young as Tua, and some of them are rookies and they're learning. Everything ain't created equal. If all of those guys played nothing but a dink and dunk format and had to dink and dunk all day, their efficiency level would creep up too. I remember people saying, yeah, Joe Burrow and them is good, but in this format, they wouldn't be as efficient as Tua. Tua's one of the most efficient. The dink and dunk, the short and intermediate, I don't think anybody could actually do that better than him. And look at Joe Burrow get sacked 9 times. They take away his receivers. They take away the run game. They force him into a dink and dunk format, and the man has virtually 85% completion percentage and murks him for 348 yards. If everybody had to do that, the same format Tua's running, Tua might be right back down in around the 25th. Every offense ain't created equal, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people. If Tua gets 10 throws and all of them are under 10 yards, and he ends up at 80%, and another quarterback gets 10 throws, and let's just say 4 of them are past 20 yards, stats will tell you their numbers will look less. They'll be less efficient because they're taking deeper shots. So Tua's going to be rated better than them, but guess what? The stats might even be better. I'll give you one better. If Tua's ranked 17th, I probably can find you 5 to 7 quarterbacks in that ranking that have better stats than him. His efficiency is why he was rated 17th. But time will tell. And you said, isn't 15 really good? If you ain't cracking the top 10, it don't matter. And again, I don't just gauge top 10 on what PFF says or what a QBR says. We all know who top 10 quarterbacks are. We can go down the list without looking at stats, and when we watch these guys play, we know who top 10 quarterbacks are. We know the threats that they impose, the skill that they impose, the ability, not an efficiency rating from PFF making them that. Because you know why you can't make that argument? What if Tua only played 5 games this year and it was like that stretch where he was 75% in every game? Tua might have ended the year at the 3rd highest efficiency in the NFL. What, we gonna say he's PFL, he's the number 3 quarterback in the league? No. That's why we can't be, PFF's efficiency ranking has him 17. His QBR was top 5. That don't mean that's your overall ranking as a quarterback in the NFL. Let's keep it 1,000, man. Time always tells. Hi, TD. Love the channel and the way you inform and entertain. Even if I do not agree with everything, Tua's prove it year now. Greeting from Germany. Y'all, I mean, whether y'all want to believe it or not, and greetings to you too, sir. I'm going to tell y'all now, man. Now that I know that we're all in sold on Tua, I need him to be great, man. I need him to take that next step. I need to see I need to be wowed. All these people, well, you don't need a quarterback to do that. You just need a quarterback to help get the job done. Nope, shut up. Stop that crap. Stop. I want a guy that every week we go into the game, I feel like I know we can win. I know we got a shot. I want this guy to play at a level that Buffalo's this Sunday, y'all. I think we gonna do it. Come on, let's keep it 1,000. I don't care how we build this team. When we play Buffalo, ain't a soul in Dolphin Nation deep down in their true, honest selves. Because we know a lot of y'all like lying to yourself. Ain't a soul deep down in their honest self can feel like we got a chance to win this. Nope. You know what your feeling's going to be? Here we go. Let's see what we get. This is going to tell us a lot. That's all. That's what your soul's going to tell you. This is going to tell us. There ain't going to be a bone in your soul of, man, we got a shot, man. Let's do it. Yeah, you'll be like, come on, man. Let's do this, man. Of course, we're going to cheer for it and want it to happen. But your deep inner soul, the best feeling you're going to feel is, here we go. We about to find out. Let's see where we are. So I need Tua to become that guy that every week I'm like, man, we about to get this. You know how they be like, it's Tua time, it's Tua time. We want to really feel that. We want to really feel that. This upcoming season, I think I'm going to give Tua 4 weeks. I'm going to give him 4 weeks. What do you mean give him 4 weeks, TD? He can look like trash for 4 weeks. Not saying he will. I'm just saying. I think I'm going to give him 4 weeks to where I don't have high expectations. But in that 5th week, we got to hit the ground running. Let's roll. No excuses. Let's go. What people need to understand is it's a new system. Another new coach. Jesus. Oh, my gosh. The man had 8,000 coaches. Another new coach. Another new OC potentially. Another new quarterback coach potentially. Like I said, a whole nother system where you got to understand the reads and the assignments, the checks, the alerts, all of that stuff. I think giving him 4 weeks is the fair thing to do. Let him get some of them kinks worked out, because if he does struggle, it's okay. We will still evaluate and critique his game every week. Y'all know what we do. But we're going to give him the 4 weeks. And no matter how good or how bad it looks. But week 5, I'm treating him like Josh Allen. What anybody would expect of Josh Allen, I'm treating him at a high level. I want to see your greatest play. No, I'm not asking you to throw 60 yards down the field like Josh Allen or run the ball like Josh Allen. But what you do well in our system, I want to see you performing to the utmost. I want to see 75% efficiency at all times. Period. Because what everybody also needs to understand, is the fact that in this type of format with a limited quarterback, where you rely on the defense in the run game, your quarterback has to do the basic small things that they ask him to do at a high level. You have to do the small things at a high level. And yes, I agree, Andres, even a new playbook. You have to do the small things at a very high level. Well, TD, that's unfair. You asked him to do it at a level that nobody else is required to do because of his limitations. In order for him to survive and hang out there with the big dogs, he got to do the basic stuff at a higher level than everybody else. Somebody said, TD, please just like the new coach feel good about working with Tua. Oh, I love that. I mean, you must be weren't here at the beginning of the stream when I said it actually gave me hope. I'm excited about it. I love that McDaniels is all in, giving him a fresh start, not having a preconceived notion that Tua ain't the guy. He's going to give him a fair shot. He's going to work with him. He's going to try to turn him into a great quarterback. He's going to try to pull all that greatness out of him. I love that. See, this is what some of y'all do. You come in here late and then you say, oh, why don't you just be happy that our quarterback is happy about working with him? We done already been through that. This is why a lot of y'all have these crazy narratives, because you come in late and miss the stuff where I'm doing exactly what you're accusing me of not doing. Then you hear the flip side. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this real quick. That's real news. That's real commentary. That's real analysis. Real analysis isn't just telling you everything you want to hear in the feel-good stuff. It's giving you both sides of it. I tell you the things that you should love about it. I tell you the things that should concern you. That's fair news. That's fair analysis. That's fair breakdown. I give you both ways. You know why? Because either way can end up being a reality. If it doesn't work, I told y'all this is what you should be concerned about in that process. If it does work, I told y'all this was the promising thing. Everybody was like, what I don't like about TD is he rattles the fence. Why don't you just pick a side? Real analysis should never pick a side. They should be neutral to both. Now, when I break things down and I give you my opinion, I do pick a side. I tell you this is what I believe. But then they hate me when I say, but we don't know. Time will tell. That's real commentary. Some of y'all just want to hear nothing but praise, even if there's no evidence, or nothing but bashing, even if it's unwarranted. And you know what I've come to realize? And this is where they say, oh, TD's being cocky now. You know what I've come to realize? This is why when you send me these long emails that are telling me what I should be doing, this is why I never change it. Because everybody's that's complaining about me cutting Tua some slack. Because some of y'all don't see the comments that's hidden that says, TD, come on, man. Tua's trash. Just keep it 1,000. Y'all don't see me reading those. So, but what I have realized is the simple fact that as long as I keep it real, the people that complain about me bashing Tua, or the people that complain about me making excuses for him, they'll still be here, because deep down inside, they know at least they can feel somewhat of both sides. It's just that when it's time to hear the side that they don't like, oh, they don't like it. This is Tua's year 3. This is year 3 for Tua. What did I tell y'all from day one would be Tua's year? Put it in the comment section. For those who've been here for more than 2 years, why don't you educate our new viewers? What did TD say if Tua will have any success in this league, it will be what year? What did I tell y'all? Put it in the comment section. So when you see that answer in the comment section, I've been telling y'all this before we drafted this man. I said you're going to be disappointed in year 1. You're going to be disappointed in year 2. If Tua ever becomes good, he's going to be a year 3 quarterback. I've been said that. If he's ever going to turn a corner, it's going to be year 3. But watch when these people come. If he does change the corner, no, TD, don't change that energy now. Keep the same energy. I told you if he becomes a great quarterback, it'll be a year 3. He is not a year 1 or year 2 guy. I told y'all that before he ever laced up them cleats in Miami. I said Tua will never be a year 1 phenom or a year 2 phenom. If he has any shot at being great, it will happen in year 3. He's not one of those guys that's generational that's going to come in, hit the ground, and be like, yeah, I'm here. I've been told y'all that. And when people got mad at me when I said that back then, what did I say to them? Time will tell. It looked like the first 2 years I was right. Now year 3 is here. Is he going to become great? I hope so. If not, then we got it wrong. We don't know if we got it wrong yet. The biggest thing that we should be banking on is hoping that McDaniel's honestly, some of us need to hope that Flores was the thing that was holding Tua back. I know we want to believe that narrative and we want to go off of that, blah, blah, blah. We better hope that was true. We better hope that it was really because of Flores. We better hope it. Because if it wasn't because of Flores, then We done ran out of reasons. But we'll see. Time will tell, as it always does. Believe it or not, man, McDaniel's phone call to Tua has me all in on Tua because obviously we don't have a choice, right? It disappointed me from the organization standpoint because if they have an opportunity to upgrade the position and not operate off of hope, I would like to think that my team would take that opportunity. But they basically said, no, we won't. We won't. So now knowing that they wouldn't take an opportunity to upgrade that position if they could, it's all Tua because we don't have nothing else. It's Tua time. And believe it or not, I'm all behind that because it's all we have. Like, if anybody didn't like Tua, if you're a real Dolphins fan, at the end of the day, now you officially know. Ain't no more debate, ain't no more discussion, ain't no more complaining. He's the guy, and we got to get behind that and support it. So now it's about, man, hoping that they make all the right decisions to maximize him and make him that year 3 guy. Shock us all like, man, I did not see this coming out of Tua. Man, I am seeing just straight impressive. Oh, my gosh. That's what we all got to hope for. And I'm hopeful, whether they call me a hater or not. It's not even I need him to succeed now. Because if Tua doesn't succeed, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We don't see the light at the end of the tunnel from another 20 years of the same thing over and over. If Tua don't succeed, we're back to not even seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for the next 20 years. The last 3 years, oh, man, I feel like I done got something in my eye, and it's burning like seasoning or something, and I ain't even touched nothing. But my eye is straight up burning right now. Ooh. My eye is burning, and I don't know why. Only time it burned like this is when I'm watching Tua film. I don't know. I'm just playing. That was just a little joke. I was just messing around, but my eye is burning right now. But that was just a little joke. I can't help myself sometimes, y'all. Now that's the example of TD hating, and I be admitting those moments because it get funny sometimes. That was a fair example of, oh, you stop hating, TD. All right. I'm just messing around. All right. That is a fair example of me taking a dig that I shouldn't take. All right. I give you that one. Oh, man. Oh, man. Marino is trash. Oh, Lord. But anyway, man, I'm about to get out of here because I got to go pick up my little one from school in about 20 minutes, man. I'm going to answer a few questions before I get out of here. You can't talk about people like that, TD. No, man, listen. Here's one of the biggest truths that I've never tried to I want y'all to hear me very well when I say this. And I'm glad I'm saying it when I see that we have 444 viewers on YouTube, 444. But this is a point that I'm about to make that I've never tried to defend. I've never even really said it. I've never tried to defend this point because I feel like it's a waste of time defending it because a lot of people won't believe me. Matter of fact, majority of people wouldn't believe me. If you like Tua or hate Tua, you wouldn't believe this point about me. I'm a huge Tua Tagovailoa fan, like for real, for real. I am a huge Tua Tagovailoa fan. I really, really, really want this kid to be great. I evaluated him. I had a lot of reservations and concerns about him. But nothing's unfixable. And I had very high hopes. But when I was doing this channel, I promised myself, y'all, and I'm keeping it 1,000 with y'all, moment of vulnerability. Keeping it 1,000 with y'all. I promised myself that I would not be unfair to everybody watching. I am going to be critical of him. I am not going to have another Tannehill moment. I promise myself I am not going to have another Tannehill moment while I'm doing this channel. I am not going to overlook, make excuses, and ignore anything about my quarterback. I am going to be critical of him, more critical than I am of any other quarterback. I made that promise to myself. And I found out that when I start just keeping it 1,000, because I'm telling y'all now, whether y'all want to believe it or not, we could probably have 40,000 subscribers if I just told you what you wanted to hear. If I treated Tua like Tannehill, we'd have 40K subscribers. We would be freaking probably on TV now, as far as I care. I mean, it would have been crazy over here. But I promised myself I wouldn't do that Tannehill thing again. I would make my quarterback earn it, earn respect. And the biggest frustrating part for me is I wanted to make sure that I never gave Tua excuses. I wanted to make sure that he owns everything that happens around him, because that's what they did to other quarterbacks, Tannehill included. They make the quarterback own everything. But then we get a quarterback that so many people love. Now all the ownership goes out the window. Everything around him has to own it. And I made sure I'm not going to do that. I want this kid to succeed. I want him to be great. But you know what? He going to have to earn it with me, because let me tell y'all why. If he does earn it with me, listen, I promise y'all, there shouldn't be a single doubt in this community. If he earns it with me, everybody who still doesn't believe will be shunned, because I'm telling you, I'm not giving him anything. I need him to force me to be all in, because then and only then I know that we have our future for the next 15 plus years. But I had to call it how I saw it every step of the way. I had to fight against all the lovers that want to ignore everything. And I had to fight against even some of the haters that were overly bashing. I want Tua Tagovailoa to be great. And a big part of that is because of the man that he is, his faith, how he carries himself. Sometimes you can't help but root for somebody because of the person they are. But I've basically been internally fighting that. I've always fought that. Like, okay, yeah, but still, hey, he got to own this. He got to own this. Before I go live, sometimes I could just have a drool session about Tua, but you know what? Let's keep it 1,000, this and that and this. No benefit of the doubts. Let's really evaluate it the way it is. It is what it is. Let's go. But it became so easy to go back and forth with people, because when you start to see yourself and other people, all the excuses, I see it all the time. I'm like, boy, they are worse than me and Tannehill. They're even worse. But at that point, you start to realize you got to keep it 100, because now you know what real feelings look like. Anyway, man, I'm about to get up out of here. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I will see y'all later. We still building around Tua. And hopefully that turns out to be the greatest thing that we could ever do. Salute to Mike McDaniel without the S. Hopefully he can bring us to the promised land. I'll see y'all soon. Salute. Peace. I am out.